What is up, guys? Artist Touch Painting back with a new video. As always, your favorite artist, Jesse here. I guess essentially this is part 4 of the wallpaper and prep to paint video series. Technically we're past that point, but I figured I would just keep it going so you guys can get a chance to see what a job looks like after all of the wallpaper's removed, all the prep work is done, and the paint is applied. So if you didn't see parts 1 to 3, I will put the links into the description at the bottom of this video. And today the goal is to get the paint finally on the walls. It's been a little bit. If you've been keeping up, you haven't seen too much of a change. You've seen a whole lot of prep work and you've seen a whole lot of white going on, so not a whole lot has changed. But today we're finally going to get the color on the wall. As said before, the color is still technically a white. It's out of the white and pastel section in the fan deck. If you don't have a fan deck, you should probably get one if you're a painter. And if you're a customer or a client and the painter you're using doesn't have one, you might want to second guess that. They should be pretty well versed in colors and have some sort of suggestions. But anyway, we picked our color out of that section, the pastels and whites, and it was a color that was taken from the existing wallpaper that they had. So it's got a little bit of a like a tannish pinkish hue to it, but it's still a really light color so that it'll pop open the feeling and the size of that foyer, especially being 2 stories and pretty wide open. It was too dark with what they already had, so the idea was to lighten it up. So the white ceiling, the fresh white on the crown and all the trim at a high gloss, really nice and shiny and clean looking, and then a really low tone bright color on the walls is just going to make the whole thing pop wide open. Light coming in through that front window is going to bounce off the ceiling and the trim work and just make the whole thing feel bigger, which is exactly what they want, which seems to be what a lot of people want. So that's definitely something that we're pretty good at providing as far as color consultation and giving you what you need so things can still match but feel open and not so closed in. So stay tuned and you'll finally get to see the color get put onto the walls. Once again, I am by myself, so it might seem like not as much is getting done, but that's okay. The job will still get done on time and in a very clean and courteous manner. So keep watching and I'll check back in soon. How about that, guys? First coat is done. Pretty good color, pretty solid color. I like it. Not too much, but not too little. It's just right, especially for everything else that's going on around it, in the adjacent rooms and everything. But yeah, it takes a little bit for you know, cutting it and rolling it out. Since we're using a sheen, I got to make sure that nothing is too dry when I go to roll it. Otherwise you see the lapping, especially on tall walls like that. You want to try to keep everything wet as you're rolling it, including the cut, so nothing frames and you don't see the brush marks all, you know, showing up. So yeah, it's a little bit technical. The stairway wall needs to be rolled in a particular way so you don't get any heavy edges. I might do a little quick close-up video part of that for the second coat. So yeah, so far so good. We're gonna hop back in and we're gonna do the second coat and really make it solid, and then the walls will be 100% done. And I guess the next part would be to finish up the baseboard and the trim work. All right, so stay tuned. Hey, just sneaking in with another quick tip. If you guys ever get paint and it's mixed up at different times or different dates, especially from different stores, you're gonna wanna take those and mix them together. It's called boxing your paint. Even if it's the same color, a lot of times the formula can be a little bit different if it was done at different stores or from different people or at different times. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna take both cans of that same color and mix them together so that there's no mess up and there's no, you know, color transitions or issues when you go to put it on the walls. So what that's gonna consist of is taking one, take your full one, take your one that you used for the first coat, pour it in. Go ahead and pour that back in the other one. This way, if there is any difference between the two cans, they're now mixed together and they're going to be the same. A lot of times this doesn't matter for me for the first coat. I just like to get into the paint and get it on the walls. It's similar enough. But when you do that second coat, you're going to want to make sure that both cans are exactly the same. So mix them together, and now you have one color even if it was different before. Now you're safe to go ahead and put that on and have no issues in the future. All right, checking out. That's it, guys. The job is complete. The customers are happy. You know, for wallpaper removal and paint, that was a pretty good job. It was a big job, and it took a lot of attention, but you know, you pay for quality, and you're gonna get quality with Artist Touch Painting. You know, the biggest issue that we had on that job was you know, fixing some of the stuff again. You know, some things that still came through after priming. You just had to spackle them and go over them again. Once that's handled, though, the job came out perfect. So what you saw there was the color go on. It was a bit darker than anticipated, but overall it worked out well, and the customers were really happy. They were really happy with the color. They were happy with how shiny that the trim came out. I also put some bits in there for the first coat on painting the trim. I didn't want to bore you to death with 2 coats and the full thing, so I just gave you the important parts. Also, I put a nice part in there with the bottom of the steps, how that kind of bent and wrapped around, the way that that had to be rolled. It had to go up on an angle sideways. You couldn't just roll up and down, or you end up with those heavy edges from your roller sleeve. So rolling that sideways gets it all smooth and even. You don't see any edges from the roller. You know, it's just one thing that you have to pay attention to. It's attention to detail. Those things will show up later, especially with paints with sheens. So you got to see a clip of that. I don't know if you could really tell in the time lapse, but the whole big back wall was like that too. It was all bent and curved. So that all had to be meticulously rolled on an angle so that you didn't have those heavy edges from the roller sleeve. I guess you could call that another quick tip. But yeah, overall that job came out great. You got to see the finished product, the walkthrough video, you know, of the whole thing tied in together. And I'm really happy with it. They're really happy with it. A big thing is making sure that your customers get what they expect, maybe a little more if possible. And that turns into recurring customers, customers that refer you to other people, you know, customers that hire you again to do other projects. But yeah, that's the way it goes. You know, you gotta pay attention to detail, and you gotta make sure that everything comes out as perfect as possible. Which I think I nailed that down on this one. You can agree or disagree. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, that's how you remove wallpaper, prep for paint, and then you also got to see how to paint a huge, you know, area, especially with one guy. So that was a nice little video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like always, please hit the thumbs up button. That helps the videos keep in circulation. If you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see when new videos come out. I'm probably going to end up doing some quick tips. I'll probably end up doing maybe a review or 2 on products that I use, that I like to use in comparison to others. A lot of things came from trial and error. So maybe look forward to that. If you guys like those ideas, let me know. But for now, this is Artist Touch Painting, and hope to see you again soon.